Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. It's getting inside here. It's a little bit noisy out there today. We are here in Denver, and this is the inaugural flight of our Cetan series of flights that are coming up. There's going to be a lot of them, and Denver is going to be our base of operations for the next while. So we're flying the 737-700 still, but this time, as you can see, we are in the Cetan colors here. Cetan being the American airline for the FlyUK group, and for at least the first while we are based out of Denver, Colorado. Today we're flying down to Phoenix, Arizona, so let's start getting the aircraft up and running and we'll be good to go. So we're going to start the flight tracker and we'll get her up and going. So parking brake is on, pop up top. Battery is on, standby power is on, emergency lights are on, and ground power is now on. We'll turn on the main lights, we'll get the position lights on, and we'll turn up the integral panel lights so that we can see everything nicely. There we go. And we'll get the main panel lights up as well on both my side and Roger's side. Alright, clear the caution and back up top. So with the lights on, we can go right up to the overhead and turn on the IRSs. We'll start them aligning. That's all good, and we can get the passengers to start boarding.
Boarding requested.
All right, and while that happens, we're going to pop down here. We're going to go into FS Actions, and we're going to set up our information here. Okay, you're not supposed to be coming away. That's one of the issues with this, is it cycles through and you can't do the jetway. Okay, well, we'll just ignore that. Alright, so let's get our fuel on board. Oh, it looks like it wants it in kilograms. That is fine. I'm just going to go into SimBrief again, and I'll reset that to kilograms. Re-push it. Looks like the boarding is done. I'm going to have to remember not to put the jetway out. Doesn't like it when I do that initially. So our block fuel for today's flight is 6,948, so 6,948. We'll get that in, and there we go. We can come back over to our payload, and we'll get our payload set up. Today we are flying with, let's get our passenger numbers. Just scrolling down. $135 passengers in all classes. So we have 130 in economy. Actually, 128. It's not going to let me do that, so we're going to do it via the weight. That's fine. We're not set up. SimBrief isn't set up for it. So 58.1. We're at 51.1 at the moment, so we're going to drop that. So let's go to 1778 on the forward and 1403 on the aft. And we want to lose another little bit, so let's just drop it to 1,000 and 1,000. There's 58.5. We want 58.1. So we'll drop our passenger count by 10. bring it up to there we go. Let's go 115, and that will be good enough. So 115 is set. That's our passengers and our fuel numbers in. We are good there. So we can go into the FMC and get that ready to go. All right. Back up top, we're going to turn on our passenger signs. Electric hydraulic pumps are on. Okay, Kevin. Well, good luck with the new equipment install when you get to that point. Hopefully it all works well for you. Alright, so the window heat is on, yaw damper is on, left aft fuel pump is coming on. We'll wait for the low pressure light to disappear. And we'll now come down here. We'll turn on the APU. We're waiting for the low oil pressure light. And we will start the APU. Alright, so that's going to be coming up. We do have ATC online at the moment. Just going to go give a read of what the ATIS is saying. Alright, so winds are 080 at 6 knots, few 10 miles of visibility, few clouds at 9,000, few at 14,000, scattered at 22,000, 35 degrees out at the moment. Wow. 3008 is the current altimeter. So we'll get that in. 3008. And again, we're high altitude here. We're a mile high. Right, we're over a mile in the air. We'll make sure that's set on both sides and on the standby. That is correct. So that is good there. Departing runway 08, 25 and 34 left. Aircraft must read back assigned heading or first waypoint with takeoff clearance. Advise you have information India. Okay, we're not quite there yet. Generators are now switched over to the APU. We'll turn the APU bleeds on. Packs will go to auto, and the isolation valve is open. So down to the FMC. And we can start getting ourselves set up. So position initialization, we'll come over to page 2. It is the 1st of September. Odd number, so we're going to use the right hand GPS. We'll grab the number and set it in, and there we go. And now we can come over to our route. So once again, with the PMDG aircraft, you have to manually move your downloaded route over if you're doing it that way. I use SimBrief, so it does give us the information that way, so that we can just download and copy the flight plan over. So we're going to request our flight plan, and since it's the only one in the folder, it's showing Denver to Phoenix, 532 miles. That is correct. We'll select that flight. We're going to wait for it to load in. You're on the spare headset at the moment. Yeah, it seems like everything's going wrong for you today. Alright, it is in, so we're going to load it into the FMS here. It's a short route. There's only a couple waypoints. Because in the States here, the SIDS and stars are humongous. So we'll activate and execute. So that's that, entered in. So we are, no we're not UKV. We're Cetan. We're US 1. And there's our route, basically, direct two waypoints. So we're going to go to our departures. What we are planning for is we're going to depart off of runway 08 on the summer 2 departure. And we are heading out today. And we'll execute that. Back to the index. For our arrival in the Phoenix, winds are out of the east there as well. So we're looking at doing the ILS for runway 08 and using the Eagle 6 arrival on 08. And I have us going to ILIKE just to give us a little bit more room as we go in. Apparently it does, Kevin. That's what the information said for the flight numbers on the website. It's US. So that's what I'm going with. Oh, sorry, that's my phone going off. I thought I had that muted. And First Officer Molly's sitting in the doorway looking at me. Hi, Molly. We're going to be transitioning at GUP, and we're going into the approach that I like. Alright, so we'll do that, and there's the jetway coming out again. So that's all entered in now. We can come over to our route. It's looking good. There's our in and out. And we come to our legs. We can see we have our departure. Everything is looking good all the way down. All the way down. And should be straight down to the runway, actually. Oh, we got the vector there. And we can deal with that when we get there. But everything is looking good for our routing. So since we got that all set up and in, we can get a hold of ATC and see what they want us to do clearance wise. So Denver ground 121.850. So 121.850, and we're going to want to go to 122.8 on Unicom once we get up and going, since there is no tower, and we'll go 121.5 on the second radio on guard channel. There we go. That 121.8. All right. And let's just get ready to call them. Get it to where I can see all my information. Denver ground, good afternoon. Skyhawk 1, gate Bravo 28, Boeing 737, looking for clearance down to Phoenix.
Skyhawk 1, Denver ground, cleared to Phoenix Airport via the Summer 2 departure day transition, then is filed. Climb to the SID, departure is offline, squawk 2217.
Cleared off 08 by the Summer 2 departure, and first waypoint of day, squawking 2217 for Skyhawk 1.
Skyhawk 1, readback is correct. Expect runway 25 for departure. Advise when ready to taxi.
Roger, runway 25, advise when ready to taxi for Skyhawk 1. Alright, so we are good there. We're going to change our runway.
Skyhawk 1, push and start is at your own discretion.
Roger, Skyhawk 1. So we're going to switch over to runway...
Fighter 16, push and start is at your own discretion.
25.
When pushing.
Interesting because that's giving us a tailwind.
And Skyhawk 1, same goes for you. Advise me when you're pushing.
Roger, will do.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we're going to push down to here again. And we're going to go to our departure. This time we're going to come in on runway 25. And again, it's going to be the Summer 2. And day. So execute that. And that is now in. And I will just come over checking that. So Summer 2, runway 25. That should be Bemke Lemon. Yeah, Tilker, and then it all brings us down towards Summer and then day. So that is all correct. And runway 25, which is the runway that runs east-west, so we're going to be tail right and facing west. And, alright, so that is good there. So we have our clearance, altimeter is set, 3018. Yeah, they probably couldn't find something to use with two letters, so 2217 is going to be our squawk. There's 2217 is set. Fueling, loading, boarding is complete. Everything is set there. We can come up and do our checks. Our Mach speed is good. Stall warning horn and stick shakers are good. In-op test is good. Lights are on. Cautions and recall and fire. Alarms are up. All lights are on, fire warning, master caution, and the alarm bell is off, and the system test.
Glide slope. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
Alright, so the altimeters are set 3008 on both sides and in the standby. Again, transponder fueling, loading, and boarding is complete. And we have to do our performance numbers. So we'll come down here. Our gross weight is going to be 58.1. Our fuel for today is 6.9. Reserves of 0.9. Cost index of 25. Flight level is 360. Cruise winds today are 199 at 28. Not too bad. And altimeter is good. We'll execute that and we'll head over to our N1 limits. And we will bring up our takeoff. And we are at Denver using runway 25. And we'll grab our departure weight.
Denver ground, good evening, United 586, information in the request for service counter
United 586 Denver ground, cleared to Chicago Midway Airport via the ME's 8 departure, Zircle transition, minutes filed. Calling via the SID, departure is offline, squawk 0631.
Alright.
And
That is
United
all in
586,
calculating.
Kansas City, but request the Kansas City BRD ME
Alright.
5 departures, Zircle transition, then it's filed. Plan via the SID and squawk.
No cell temp. That is fine. We are doing a 24K, so
United
full
586,
blow on the
expect runway
engines.
8 for departure,
That
advise
is all good. Takeoff information. It's going to be a flaps 5 departure. There's our trim numbers are set. Runway remaining, we should have 6,500 feet. And it is going to be a 131, 135, 138. Those numbers in, and 138 is in. I don't need your messages there. That is all in and set. So we're going to come up here. We're going to get that jetway out of the way. Come over to Roger's side. We'll bring up the menu. We're going to go to the doors, make sure all the doors are shut and secured, which they are now.
We're ready to go when you are.
Sounds like they are ready in the back. All right, back
On behalf of the
into
cabin crew,
here.
I'd like to welcome you aboard our flight.
Ground
As flight
services, we
attendants,
are,
your large and carry-on items in the
again,
overhead
we
bins
up on
and
the,
smaller items underneath the seat in front of you.
nope,
If you have
no,
trouble
this one.
finding a location for any of
We
these
are
carry-on
running
items,
off of
please
the
use the flight attendant call
APU,
button
and that
over
is
your
all
seat.
good.
Somebody will assist you. After you put your carry-on
So back
items
over
in
here,
the
we can
overhead
remove
bin and
the
it is full,
chocks,
make sure
and
you
they're
close
going to
it as a
remove the
courtesy
ground
to
power.
other passengers. Also, be sure that the aisle is clear and sit down so
And
that
he
way
can
other
go
passengers
back
can
into
get by
that
you.
mode there.
If you're seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit.
So takeoff data is set.
facilities in the
131,
seats provided for you. Please make sure that you are able
135,
and willing to
and
perform these actions. If you're not, please let a
138.
flight attendant know so that way you can be reseated.
So
Now's the
cruise
time to get out
altitude
any
is going
last
to
minute
be
text messages if you need to,
360.
but we ask that once we depart from the gate, you put away any laptops or tablets. Thank you and welcome aboard.
And our airport elevation, in case we have to return, is 5450. Is the elevation here in
Good
Denver.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 01, which serves to Phoenix. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour
5450.
and 32 minutes. Please note the cabin doors
MCP
now
will set up.
closed. We ask that you
We
make sure that all
want
devices are in airplane mode and
138
your
plus
larger
20,
devices
so
are now shut down and
158.
stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt.
For our initial
Verify it
climb
is low and
speed.
tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seat backs must be in the full upright and
Runway
locked
heading
departure.
is
Flight attendants, please prepare cabin for departure and
263
cross-check.
degrees. We're going to go LNAV, VNAV, but we'll get it in just in case. And our initial altitude, let's see what the departure says. We have no hard limits. We'll put 20,000 as our initial, and then we'll adjust from there. ATC is kind of offline once we get out of the Denver area. That is good. Okay. Good luck with that, Kevin. And so, flight directors are now coming on both sides. Radios are set. Doors are closed. We can pop outside. Ground equipment is all clear. Chocks are removed. We have push and start clearance. So the anti-collision light can come on. We're going to call for our push. And we're going to set up our panel. So I go data, terrain, traffic, and 10. And we center, we give him the 40 mile, and he gets traffic as well.
Hello, Captain.
On that side.
For pushback.
So it looks like we are ready to go. So back up top. If we look down here, we have no fuel in the center tank, so we don't need to turn those pumps on. So we're going to turn on the, you can also tell because it says low fuel pressure. Fuel pumps are now on.
Bypass pin inserted.
Packs are coming off. Ignition mode selector is set to both. And we're bringing in tug.
Locking gear.
Denver ground Skyhawk 1, push and start gate 28 facing west.
Roger, thank you.
Alright, we are clear around. There's no other traffic here today. And we want to nose left. We want to be facing west on the green line.
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes are released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
And we are starting. As soon as we start to roll, there we go. And we're good. Starters on both, and starting engine number 2. This, of course, is add-on scenery. I think it's not Flight Beam, MK Studios, I think.
Gentlemen, please direct your attention to the flight attendants for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is fastened, please make sure that your seatbelts are fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another.
Listen to
and
that
tighten
engine
going on
start.
the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. Please adjust it to keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the entire flight, as you may experience unexpected turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit.
As per normal, and especially with the ATC being offline towards Phoenix, once we're up and climbing up the cruise, we'll get the entertainment up and going, and I'll find something short, and then I'll go take care of First Officer Molly for a little bit until we come back for the briefing.
If you're traveling with children, now's the time to pick your favorite one. But
Alright, good start on engine number 2, starting engine 1.
Giant 329 Heavy, request high price clean to Chicago O'Hare S-Bound with Nvidia.
Please set parking brakes.
When instructed to do
Last aircraft calling, say again?
Parking brakes
Waiting
are
your confirmation
set.
for a good engine start.
wrap the strap to
Giant
around your waist
329
and
Heavy,
buckle up
request
to
high price
tight.
clearance
Pull the
to
strap
Chicago
tight.
O'Hare S-Bound with
With the
Nvidia.
vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft.
Giant 329 Denver ground, cleared to Chicago O'Hare via the Eons 8 departure, Wyndham transition minutes filed. Climb via the SID, departure is offline, squawk 2235.
As a secondary flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the strap,
10%.
and plug the cushion to your chest. Please securely stow all personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are
At
fastened
18, we
and
should get the
seat
click
fastened
of the
cables
starter
are all
cutoff.
in full upright
Alright, clear to
position.
Chicago
We
here
remind you that
about
this is a
And
non-exclusive
ignition
flight.
starters are off, start valve is closed.
Tampering with,
Then it's
disabling, or
foul,
destroying
time
the
to be a
detector
fix.
located in the laboratory
Departure is
strictly
offline,
prohibited by
squawk
law.
22.
All this
Okay,
information
popping
can
up
be found
to
in
the
the
overhead. So, generators
Giant
1
329
and
Heavy,
2
reflective thrust,
are now
6 runway 8
on.
for departure, advisor ready to taxi.
Engine 1 and 2 start switches are to continuous. Probe heats are now on left and right. Anti-ice not required. Engine bleeds are now on. Packs are set to auto.
Unlocking gear.
Recirculation fan to auto. Isolation valve to auto. APU bleeds off. APU off. And coming down, we now go flaps 5. Flaps 5 set. Again,
Tow
we
truck
got
disconnected.
high altitude
Bypass
here.
been removed.
Have the traffic, United 580.
Elevator trim, we want
Left is clear. Right
about
is clear.
5, 4.97. We'll go to 5.
Here
Right
on
about there.
586, say again.
United 586, information
Flight control
and
check.
to taxi.
It's full left, full right,
Here
neutral,
on 586,
full
runway
forward,
8, taxi via Bravo
full
November
back.
Mike.
neutral, left rudder, right rudder.
Honda Series, taxi via Bravo November Mike,
Neutral.
United 586.
Engine instruments, everything is looking good, and we'll get the numbers up top. LNAV, VNAV are set. There's the ground handler, there's the pin. Thumbs up. We'll arm the auto throttles now. Warning recall is clear. He's going to give us a wave. There we go. And we are ready for taxi. So taxi light on. Auto brakes are set to RTO. And just gonna bring up my thing. We're gonna go green, probably 4 whiskey, golf all the way to 25. Denver ground, Skyhawk 1, ready for taxi.
Skyhawk 1, runway 25, taxi via Bravo Sierra, Golf.
Roger. Bravo Sierra Golf to runway 25 for Skyhawk 1. Alright, so Bravo Sierra is the inner one, so we're going to go out to the inner, or the center line. Alright, power up. Alright, we'll move off of there, come over to Bravo Sierra. Right here, and then there's another line on the other side
Cabin is ready for takeoff.
for the other gates. Cabin is ready. Hello, Alrots. How are you today? All right, so we're on Bravo Sierra now, and we're going to taxi out this way. I'm going to turn at Gulf. We'll head down to runway 25. It is going to give us a little bit of a tailwind for takeoff. I think the calculator said it was about 4 knots, maybe 5. So we'll see what happens. We'll make the slight jog here to the right, and then it'll be Gulf after that. This is hotel in the front. And there's the Rocky Mountains. So our flight is taking us southwest today, down to Phoenix.
Giant 329 Heavy, squawk 2235.
35, thank you.
Just keeping an eye on our
Ground, Flutter 16, commencing pushback.
Flutter 16, roger.
So we're going to turn here on Gulf.
On the ground, good afternoon again. This is United 425, Bravo 21 in a Boeing 739 with India requesting clearance to Orlando.
United 425, Denver ground.
There's the main
standby.
terminal. Denver is an interesting place. This is where you go in and it's got a little bit of power. This is where you go check in. It's got the famous teepees along here, which will look really cool at night with it all illuminated and lit up. And then you take an underground system out to the various concourses. There's a Spirit. This is concourse A, B, C. There might be a D out there as well. Cetan operates out of these gates here on the B concourse. So it's a pretty big airport, or frontier hangar up there. And of course, with the high elevation, it's got some pretty long runways.
United 425, clearance is ready, advising ready, copy.
We're ready to copy, United 425.
Wish we had more ATC,
United
but we don't.
425, cleared to Orlando Airport via the FT7 departure, Gator transition, menace filed. Flying to the SID, departures offline, squawk
Currently have
1405.
10 aircrafts on the departure board and 10 on the arrivals board.
Roger, clear to Orlando via the FT7 departure gate transmission, then as filed.
It's pretty good.
And the squawk is 1405 for United 425.
Yeah, 425 readback is correct. Expect runway 8 for departure, advising ready to taxi.
Flight time is,
and advising ready to taxi, United 425.
take a look here, 1 hour 30 minutes.
United 586,
So,
runway
won't be
correction.
too long.
No more further ATC is available, advise.
It's a further short flight.
Copy of ready to come on to the point 8, United 586, up on the
Thank you very much, United 586. See ya.
See ya, bud.
Giant 329 Heavy, Zulu 1 coming out of cargo.
Giant 329 Heavy, roger, standby. Skyhawk 1, information, Juliet's in effect, advise when you have it.
Skyhawk 1 will do. We're just waiting for the update through the FastSpy.
Roger. Attention all aircraft on frequency. Information Juliet is current. Wind 190 at 8, altimeter 3007.
So we'll just do a change there, 3007.
Giant 329 Heavy, when you have Juliet, I can give you taxi clearance.
And we do have the Juliet ready.
Giant 329 Heavy, roger. Runway 8, taxi via
All right.
Zulu, Mike.
So we're here. Fuel flow is good. V speeds are checked, and we are good on our FCP. Position lights go strobe and
Skyhawk 1 with information
flashing.
Juliet. Change to advisory, frequency approved. See ya.
Roger, we'll change over to advisory with information Juliet. Have a great day. Thanks for the ATC, Skyhawk 1.
See ya.
And turn off taxi lights are on. Landing lights are on. Transponder should have been on already, but we're over on TCAS.
Flutter 16, I forgot.
Traffic's
Did you
on.
ask for taxi clearance?
Clocks are ready, and we are at runway 25.
Butter 16, please repeat, please.
All right, we have information, Juliet. We'll switch
I
over
forgot,
to
did you ask-
advisory, and there we go. Denver area traffic, Skyhawk 1, taking position, runway 25. Approach is clear. I'll roll out. Clear the caution. Verified. Feet speeds are verified 131, 135, and 138. And we have Juliet updated in VATSPY, so that's all good. Again, we are clear.
Denver Express is Native United Heavy, Lionel Runway 8, Port Hudson.
Alright. We are lined up and ready to go. Clock is running. Engines to 40%. Denver area traffic, Skyhawk 1, rolling runway 25. Departing to the west on the Summer 2 departure. Denver. Brakes released. Takeoff power set. Again, we're full. Go away. We're full tilt on the engine since we're at altitude. Airspeed's live.
Knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate.
There's that
Positive
wind.
rate of climb.
Gear up. .6,000 feet. Command A, LNAV, VNAV.
Native United Heavy taking off runway 8 to the east on the Eon 8 departure.
N1. We're going into climb mode. Alright, looking good. So, positive rate, gear is up, autopilot is engaged, auto brakes are off, gear lever is off. There's 185 knots, flaps 2. Engine start, selector switches are off, runway turnoff lights are off. 200 knots, flaps 1. And 215 knots, flaps up. Aircraft is pressurizing properly. Speed's coming up. 250 knots. Very nice. Right, we're pulling back because we do have an altitude restriction at Breakham of 10,000 feet. I'm going to go right up to flight level 360 on this now. There's our turn. Rather abrupt. Alright, and we have a... As soon as that clicks over, we'll start climbing again. After this point, they are all minimums that we have to hit. No ceiling. So basically what we're doing is climbing away from the mountains here. And we're going to do most of our climbing out here and then turn and cross the mountains. There's some traffic around us. See it there on the TCAS. Traffic car. There, my traffic car. In behind us. If we look back, we can see the airport over here. The aircraft departing, coming into Denver. Alright, so we're looking good. Through 10,000 feet. Turn the lights off. It's all good. So anti-collision light is on. Strobes and nav lights are steady. Logo lights are off. Wing lights are off. You can release the seatbelt now. It's pretty calm. And we will let them know in the back. It's 13,000 feet.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 2,000 feet. You may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatory.
Alright. We're looking good. We're tracking the outbound here. We're going to finish coming up through here, and then we'll start heading in that southerly direction. Not only getting us over the mountains, but getting us out of the way of other traffic, which is inbound to the airport. So Cetan is the American-based airline that's affiliated with FlyUK, and as you can see from the markings here, it takes on a native North American indigenous paint scheme and theming. But it's very cool. There's Denver Airport over there. So Cetan flies a number of different things, but I thought I'd like to keep the 737-700 running for a while. So after we finished Aurora, which was based out of Vancouver in Canada, we have now switched down here, and we're flying basically the same aircraft, although a few modifications, giving it a different airframe. We're now flying it out of Denver for the next while, so it will be quite a number of flights coming out of here. So it should be pretty cool to see it come over in the winter. Let's switch over to standard pressure, set, cross-checked, and in standby. Alright, so the landing lights are off. We are pressurizing, you can see there, and everything else is looking very, very good. Alright, so with all that done, let's settle back. I'll find something on the entertainment, something that'll take us to our descent. We don't have far to go. For our top of descent. Looks like we got a disconnect there. Let's come down to our legs page. They then GUP, which is correct. So let's get you up to there. And we should be good. Yeah, we're good the rest of the way in. That's all looking good there. And there's our top of descent out over there. Alright. So we'll leave that at 80 miles. That's pretty good. You know, traffic coming in front of us. 22,000 feet. I'm going to go on the mic. We'll get the entertainment up and going, and we can all sit back for about half an hour or so and enjoy the flight. Oh, Liam. We'll get rid of that. Let's see if this is going to cooperate today. As we leave Denver. Alright, so let me slide the chat upwards just to get that out of the way. There we go. Alright, so let me get the entertainment set up. It'll be a brief one. And I'll be back to brief for the arrival. And as I mentioned, I'll be in and out of the chat as I go take care of First Officer Molly as we head down to towards Phoenix. See you in a bit.
Contact light. Okay, engine stop. ATA at a descent. Mode control both auto. Descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 13 is in.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
And we're getting a picture on the TV. There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
Sunday, July 20th, 1969. Around the world, nearly 1 billion people watched this moment on television as the first man from Earth prepared to set foot upon the moon.
At the foot of the ladder, the 11-foot beds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
All that we have accomplished in space, all that we may accomplish in days and years to come, we stand ready to share for the benefit of all mankind.
As we explore the reaches of space, let us go to the new worlds together, not as new worlds to be conquered, but as a new adventure to be shared.
Since the earliest time, man has imagined this moment, the moment when his fellow man would make the first journey to the moon. Now the time had come. In the 6th decade of the 20th century, the ancient dream was to become a reality. The flight of Apollo 11 was the culmination of many years of planning, working, building, and testing. Thousands of people had contributed toward this day of accomplishment. The great Saturn V rocket and the complex Apollo spacecraft had been assembled together and moved to the launch pad. The equipment and techniques and personnel had been proved in earlier missions, and now they were ready. The astronauts chosen for this mission had flown it many times in ground-based simulators. They had all been in space before. They had trained carefully and well. And now, they too were ready. Astronaut Michael Collins would pilot the Apollo Command Module. Astronaut Edwin Aldrin Jr. would pilot the Lunar Module. And astronaut Neil Armstrong would serve as mission commander. Armstrong would be the first man to step upon the moon. July 16th, the day had come. The moon awaited. The men rose early, ate breakfast, and dressed in their spacesuits. Other astronauts had made this journey to the launch pad, but never with such anticipation. 9:32 a.m., July 16th. Three hours later, the Apollo Command Module moves forward to extract the lunar module from the third stage of the launch vehicle. Both are moving at more than 17,000 miles an hour. Docked together, they will sail 250,000 miles across the sea of space and into orbit around the Earth's nearest neighbor.
Oh, loud and clear now, Mike, and we understand that you are docked.
During the three-day journey to the moon, the astronauts kept busy. Checklists, navigation and observation, housekeeping. They must work in a weightless environment, keeping their spacecraft and themselves in good condition. Data must be collected and reported. Experiments must be performed, including photography both inside and outside the spacecraft. Because of the film speed, these actions appear faster than they actually were. July 19th. Apollo 11 slows down and goes into orbit around the moon. The bright blue planet of Earth now lies 238,000 miles beyond the lunar horizon. Astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin, now in the lunar module, separate from the command module. Astronaut Collins remains behind. Preparation for the lunar module descent to the moon now begins. command module assumes the new name, Columbia. The lunar module will be called the Eagle. From Columbia, Michael Collins' camera sees bright rays of the sun reflecting patterns of color from the surface of the Eagle. In this strange metallic bird rides the ancient and endless dream of all mankind. The command pilot can see detail which his camera cannot record. The 4 landing pads of the lunar module are fully extended and locked in place. The Eagle is poised and prepared for its descent to the lunar surface. The moon landing craft rocket engine fires to slow it down and to place it on the pathway to the landing site in the Sea of Tranquility. There is tension and caution as the Eagle flies lower. Warning lights blink on as the computer tries to keep up with the demand for control data, but the status remains go.
Eagle, we got you now. It's looking good, over. Roger, copy. Eagle, Houston, after yaw around, angled, S-band pitch, -9er, yaw, +18. Roger, you're a go to continue power descent. You're a go to continue power descent.
Altitude now 21,000 feet, still looking very good. Velocity down now to 1,200 feet per second.
You're looking great to us, Eagle.
Give us a reading on the 1202 program alarm.
Roger, we got you. We're going at alarm.
Good radar data. We're now in the approach phase, everything looking good. Altitude 4,200.
Houston, you're a go for landing, over.
Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet.
Copy.
Alarm.
Altitude 1,600. 1,400 feet, still looking very good.
700 feet, 21 down. 33 degrees. 100 feet, down at 19. 1201.
1201. Roger, 1201 alarm. We're go. Same type. We're go.
Altitude, velocity light. 3.5 down. 220 feet. 13 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely. 200 feet. 4.5 down. 5.5 down.
60 seconds.
Lights on. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. Good. 40 feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drifting to the right a little. Good. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Through the window of the Eagle, Armstrong and Aldrin see what no human eyes have ever seen before. Their spacecraft casts a long shadow across the undisturbed dust of centuries. Seven hours after landing, after careful preparations for later ascent were completed, Armstrong opens the Eagle hatch and begins his climb down to the surface. The first footsteps on this strange new world must be taken cautiously. The moon has only 1/6 the gravity of Earth. The nature of its surface was still unknown.
I'm going to step off the limb now.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Once on the surface, Armstrong scoops up a small sample of lunar dust and rock. Precaution against the possibility of an emergency takeoff. According to plan, astronaut Aldrin now descends from the Eagle. He and his equipment would weigh 383 pounds on Earth. Here, they weigh about 66 pounds.
In a few moments, our lovely flight attendants will be starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. Please note we only accept credit cards.
For a brief moment, the first men on the moon stand and look at the stark, lonely landscape around them, an experience which no one before them can share. But there is much to be done in the limited time which they can stay on this airless, cloudless satellite of Earth. This sheet of metal foil traps and holds particles from the sun, the so-called solar wind, or barrage of solar energy, which constantly strikes the moon's surface. Results of this experiment will be taken back to Earth to reveal new secrets to anxious scientists. An American flag is left behind on the moon, together with medals honoring American and Soviet spacemen who lost their lives in earlier space tests, and a small disc carrying messages of goodwill from 73 nations on Earth. A plaque on the lunar module reads, "Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind." Through a specially made television camera, viewers in many nations on Earth were able to watch the astronauts as they walked and worked on the moon. Despite the bulky spacesuits and the backpacks containing oxygen, temperature control, and communications equipment, the Apollo 11 crew found they could move easily about the surface. Because there is no wind or rain on the moon, these footprints will remain for centuries. In addition to collecting rock and soil samples, the explorers leave behind a seismometer. This highly sensitive device would send back valuable information on external meteoroid impacts, as well as internal lunar movements. A 100 prism laser reflector would help man to measure the exact distance from Earth to Moon to an accuracy of 6 inches. These were the first of many experiments which will be taken to the Moon to provide man continuing and increasing knowledge about the Moon and the vastness of space beyond. After 2 hours and 31 minutes, the first lunar explorers had completed their research on the Moon. A night of rest in the lunar module, countdown preparations, and they were ready to come home.
Tranquility Base, Houston, guidance recommendation is pings, and you're cleared for takeoff.
Roger, understand. We're number 1 on the runway. 7, 6, 5, port stage, engine arm ascent. Beautiful. Very smooth. Very quiet ride. There's that one crater on there.
Thousand feet high, 80 feet per second vertical rise.
Eagle Houston, you're looking good at 2. Ping, zags, and misspin all agree. I'm going right down US 1. Eagle Houston, going right down the track. Everything's great.
Horizontal velocity approaching 2,500 feet per second.
Roger.
Some 120 miles to go until insertion.
July 21st. The Eagle and its 2-man crew lifted off the moon perfectly and climbed slowly to rendezvous and dock with the mother ship, Columbia. While Armstrong and Aldrin explored the moon, astronaut Collins had kept a long and lonely vigil in the Columbia. The approaching Eagle was a welcome sight. Later, the 3 men would share their reflections on this adventure with the world.
I believe that from the early space flights, we demonstrated a potential to carry out this type of a mission. And again, it was a question of time until this would be accomplished.
I think it's a technical triumph for this country to have said what it was going to do a number of years ago, and then, by golly, do it.
The relative ease with which we were able to carry out our mission, which of course came after a very efficient and a logical sequence of flights, I think that this demonstrated that we were certainly on the right track when we took this commitment to go to the moon.
I just see it as a beginning of a new age.
Once again, the bright blue planet of Earth rises over the lunar horizon. For those who had witnessed man's landing in the Sea of Tranquility, the moon would never again appear quite the same. July 24th, dawn in the Pacific. Apollo blazes across the heavens, coming back to Earth at 25,000 miles an hour. President Richard Nixon, who had talked with the astronauts by telephone while they were on the moon, was waiting aboard the recovery carrier to welcome the returning voyagers. The president later expressed the nation's response to this historic mission.
Some way, when those two Americans stepped on the moon, the people of this world were brought closer together. That it is that spirit, the spirit of Apollo, that America can now help to bring to our relations with other nations. The spirit of Apollo transcends geographical barriers and political differences. It can bring the people of the world together in peace.
To protect against any possible lunar contamination, the astronauts put on airtight special garments before coming aboard the rescue ship. They transferred directly from the helicopter to a mobile quarantine van, in which they would be flown back to the Manned Spacecraft Center in Houston, Texas. July 27th. The journey was ended. They were home again. Ahead lay 3 weeks of isolation, medical tests, and mission debriefings. Then visits to major cities of America and abroad. The details of their unique mission would be relived and remembered so that others might learn what they had learned, and that future travelers in space might build upon their experience. The rock and soil samples brought back would be examined and analyzed by scientists in many lands. They would reveal new insights into the origin and the age and the composition of the moon, and perhaps new knowledge of the Earth as well. Already experiments left on the moon were sending back revealing new information. The mission was successfully completed. The Eagle had landed the first men on the moon, and Columbia had returned them safely to Earth. Wherever man journeys tomorrow across the ocean of our universe, history will remind him that Apollo 11 was mankind's first encounter with a new world.
Alright, welcome back. Well, we're about 70 miles, 65 miles from top of descent, so let's start getting ready to go. So we'll get the weather. Now the weather is closed in a little bit down here in Phoenix, and I'm just going to grab the main section of it. It's hot there too. It's 28 degrees down in Phoenix today. There's the weather in the chat. Winds are 170 gusting 11, or at 11 knots gusting to 17. 10 miles of visibility. Light rain scattered at 7,500. Broken at 9,000. Broken at 12,000. Broken at 14,000. Overcast at 19,000. And there's 21 and 2996. So we'll get that in there and ready to go. There we go. 2996 is set. So arrival data, we're going to pop down and we'll pop in here. We're going to be landing flaps 40. We'll get that in, and arrival data is set. You can go away and we'll go back up here into the cruise. So arrival data is set. We have a reference speed of 127, so we're going to be landing at 132. Elevation at Phoenix Airport is 1,135 feet, so we're going to set it for 1,150. So we'll dial that down. There's 1,150 is set. We can come back down here to our radios. Radios are already set, 122.8. There's no ATC on at Phoenix at the moment. If we look at the board though, we do have 4 departures and 4 arrivals coming into Phoenix at this point in time. Given the weather, the runways are basically 0725. We're going to be landing on, what did I say the winds were? 17. We're going to be landing on runway 8, which is the northern runway that runs east-west. 11,000 feet, so even if we have a slight tailwind, it's not going to matter. We are going to end up with a bit of a crosswind for this landing either way, because of the way that the runways are laid out and the wind's coming out of the south, which I think is not that common for here. What we are going to do is set up the radios for the ILS. Alright, so ISYQ is the identifier. It has a frequency of 11175. So we're going to come down here. 11175. We'll switch it over. There it is. Radio 2, we're going to put in the Phoenix VOR of 115.6. There we go, 115.6 in the Phoenix VOR. And I'm going to see if there is any NDBs or anything out here that we can tune in as well. There does not appear to be. Let me just do a quick check on that. Yeah. Not seeing any NDBs. Alright, so we are good there. Our altitude we're going to be heading down to is going to be 3,000 feet. Get that headed in now. Feet is in and set. What we can do as well, get down here to the legs. We're going to be coming down all these points here. We're going to come in here and take off the vector that we have there. So we'll just get a continual descent. Looking good. And just to make it easy on us, we're going to hard code the final couple of altitudes in there, so there's no chance of us being high for the intercept. Alright. So that is all set. We're currently 29 miles out of top of descent. So we can carry on setting up. So there's the ILS frequency. Course is 078 degrees. We'll get that in. That is now set in as well on our course. Popping down once again, we're going to go into our fixed page. We'll put in the airport KPHX. Phoenix, we're going to set up our distance of 25 miles. That gives us our 25-mile MSA ring around there, and we're also going to put in the rough runway centerline of 258. So we'll come over to the next page again. That's Kilo Papa Hotel X-ray, and we want it on heading of 258. That'll give us a rough. Nope. Missed that one, and you can go away, and you go there. Alright, and we can go back up here. So there's our rough runway heading. Is all set up. Pop out to 80 miles. Top of descent's now 19 miles out. So warning recall is clear. Everything is good there. MCP is set. We are set down to 3,000 feet. And heading is fine at the moment. We'll leave it there. Course is set. Altimeters we have on standby of 296 minimums. ILS minimums for this are 1368. We are going to be on the barrel. So we just set this for 1368. And it'll take a minute. Of course, we're out here in the high. There we go. 1368 is set for the minimums. Approach has been brief. Missed approach, we're going to climb to 3,000 feet, then left turn to 5,000 on a heading of 280, and we're going to go outbound on the PXR VOR radial 336. So the PXR VOR we already have dialed in over here, so we're going to go to a heading of 336, and that's going to be our intercept as we head out on the missed approach if required. Alright, so we've got everything set up there, and we are good. Once we are down and landed, we're going to be taxiing to... let's do a quick check and see if we go in anywhere on any assigned gates. No stands are assigned at the Phoenix airport for us, so we're going to be going into Terminal 4, probably the A gates around A25 or so. Alright, top of descent is coming up, 2.5 miles out. We should be getting down on our own. VNAV path is armed and ready to go. Should see the profile come up, and then we'll be starting downwards. We do still have some mounts to go over, and there's our descent starting. There's our descent profile, and it looks like we have definitely got some clouds we're going to be running into. And of course, this is typical where the winds, moist winds coming in off the Pacific, they run up against the mountains. The air is lifted by the mountains, it cools and condenses, and that's where you get the clouds and the rain, which is why places like Washington State, Oregon are heavy with rain. British Columbia on the Pacific coast. It's because all the moisture in the air gets dumped on it before it heads over the mountains, and then you get places like the deserts and the prairies and stuff that get minimal rainfall because the air is now dry. But we're 103 miles out from the airport, and First Officer Molly has joined us in the cockpit. She's curled up on the jump seat, waiting for me to finish so I can make her dinner. we're going to come in when we hit 280. We're going to peg ourselves at 280 knots for the descent. And then we can see we're heading in, basically going to be straight in, and then we're going to make a series of left turns to come around and land. So we can get rid of the map now that we're descending down. I'll bring the chat window back to where it should be. There we go. Clear that. No, you can't do that. That's fine. I will manually do it. So if we pull up the arrival, the Eagle 6 arrival, it wants us at 170. So we're going to come back to 270. And we're going to hold that down to Eagle where we go to 260. Engine's coming back. Speed will start to reduce. And of course at Eagle we'll make our call for the Phoenix area as we come in. Very cool scenery out here. Never been down to this part of the US. We're looking good. We're through 30,000 feet, so let's go ahead and we'll get the seat belts back on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it is time to return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
We are looking good. No traffic in the area. And it looks like and a couple of aircraft have left and are flying away, and we are the closest on the approach. So it looks like traffic at the moment will not be an issue. Nice views out the wing there. Again, I did go through and adjust my graphic settings, and looking really nice out with little minimal frame losses and stuff. So it's looking nice. And there's the massive cloud we're heading for. Alright, so that was thrust through Peso. We're heading to Eagle. We got to be down to 260. So we'll set that in. There we go. The engine's spool back. I can see it's all in here for using the VNav and everything, but kind of prefer to do it manually. So we're going to, our missed approach will be a climb to 9,000 feet. So we'll dial that in. Just 9 miles out. So I hope you enjoyed today's flight. It was rather short, but it's getting us there. Hello, Liam. See you're waving. We are coming down through 25,000 feet. And looks like we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Hello, Alrots.
Great news from the flight deck. We're very slightly ahead of schedule.
There we go. What's the most common landing? Can you explain what you mean? I would say the most common landing is the successful one, but I'm sure that's not exactly what you meant. Oh, buttersmooth. For me, smoothish. Sometimes. Phoenix area traffic, Skyhawk 1 descending through flight level 223 on the Eagle 6 arrival, runway 08, Phoenix. Looking good. We're going to be down at 250 knots at Homer. I do love some of these waypoint names. Botox, Queenie, Heine, Gypsy, Basil, SD, Venom, Homer. Nicely done. There's the cloud coming in. Again, we're expecting some light rain on landing. Kevin is a mod, yes. Also going to keep it on the train. We do have some elevations coming up, although we should be clear of them before we have to slip below 10,000 feet. I'm going to switch over to local pressure now as we come up towards 18,000, just to let everything settle in. Sending straight through to 3,000 anyway. Once again, airport elevation is 1,135 feet.
She said she was a lot of antenna. I said, that's good. Didn't need no one to save her.
Alright. 7 miles to go. We're going to bring the speed back to 250.
That's good.
At Gino, we got to be down to 230. Landings, I find, are harder in a sim, a non-motion sim like this, than they are in real life. I do much better landings in real life than I do in the sim. And that's because I don't have the sensor, I don't feel the airplane, I don't have that feel for it. That's what's missing in here. If you had a full motion sim, yeah, you'd be able to feel it better, and you get the sense of how the airplane's moving and everything, and that really does help. But not so much in here. You lose that a little bit. Alright, there's 250 knots.
I said I was a cloud collector.
No, it's harder. Like I said, it's easier to land in the real airplane because you can feel everything as it moves. Alright, there's that turn. Coming through the clouds. So at Gino, we got to be at 230 knots. It's about 18 miles away. Yeah, in a full motion, like a level D simulator, it'd be the same as landing a real one. You get the same feeling. But for non-motion sims, even full cockpit ones, non-motion, it's a little bit tougher. But yeah, if you've got the motion, you're good. See a little bit of precipitation under the clouds there. And we're coming down through 15,000 feet now. Got a good descent going. Both hucks are going to be between 13 and 14, so it's going to probably put us right through it. 13 and a half. 32 miles out from the airport now. Bring her down to 230. And as we slip below flaps, we can go to flaps 5, below 250, so flaps 1. This will help slow us down without using the speed brakes. Yeah, well, I mean, some people will always be nervous to fly, but a lot of it is familiarity. If you're familiar with the sounds and what happens and what's going on, then you know, it shouldn't be too much of a big deal, because you know what's normal, right? When you hear the engine spooling, when you hear the PTUs kick in for the hydraulics on the Airbuses, you know what that sound is. You know, when you're coming into land, when you hear the gears pins release and you get the thunk as they come open, you know, okay, it's nothing to be worried about. You know what that sound is. Alright, flaps 5. Flaps 5 set. And we're down at 230 knots. Next one is at Queenie. We got to be at 210 knots as we pass through 10,000 feet. We're going to go. Well, we'll go at 210. That's what it is. There's the populace down here. You can see the built-up area. I think Phoenix is out over this way. We got another airport we're going to fly over here. This is Scottsdale, Arizona. And then we go over this little mountain ridge type of thing, and then that's Phoenix is out under that cloud mass there. Let's see if we put on the airports. KSDL, there's Scottsdale. Then we got Phoenix, Deer Valley up this way, and a couple others over here.
Into Phoenix. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on
Liam, yeah, there is that. Okay, yeah, first time flyer. So we should hit Queenie at 10,000 feet. But watching these videos and everything, Phoenix is in the hangar. You're in the PMDG. Did I say Phoenix at some point? No, I mean, Kevin. Boo. Yeah, you should. This should help with knowing a little bit more about what's going on and everything that's happening. All right, so Queenie, we should head at 10,000 feet, and we're going to dial down to 210 knots now. And with the flaps out, that should happen fairly quickly. Well, Kevin, if you didn't have a computer that was run by a gerbil, oh well, I'm glad I could help, Leo. Glad I could help. There's 10,000 feet, so landing lights are on, turn-off lights are on. We'll put on the logo and wing lights. Everything else is good. We'll ding the back. There they go. We're passing through 10,000 feet. So cabin pressure, we are pressurizing properly. Landing lights are on, turn-off lights are on. Seatbelt signs are on. Cabin has been notified. So we'll start getting ready for our approach. Approach course and frequency are set. Course is 078. Frequency of is tuned in. It's whatever it was, 111.75. But you can see it's the identifiers come up. ICWJ, which if we check the chart is not the correct one, but that should change. Maybe it's picking up the reciprocal. Yeah, it could be picking up the reciprocal. It should be ISYQ. So we'll keep an eye on that. And just getting myself ready here on the charts. Okay, speeds are within limits. We are good. We're at our restricted speeds here of 210. Speed brakes are armed. Auto brakes are set to 2. There's downtown Phoenix. Here's the airport. And we're landing on this runway over here, which is the northern runway, 08. And we're going to bring our speed down to 200 knots, so I can go to flaps 10. Okay. If you're going to do a test later, if you want me to come along, let me know. When we're done here, I've got to feed Molly and then take her for a walk, but I'll be available after that. Let me know how the install goes. Alright, we're down 200 knots, so we're going to go flaps 10. We're continuing our descent. When we hit O base, we're going to go to 165. We're down to 7,000 feet. And we've got a lot to drop. Alright, so 1 mile out, speed coming on to 165. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the Discord, give me a shout. Alright, so there's our turn. We're starting to head down now. Although we should be heading out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take over with heading select. ILike is supposed to be our entry point. So it's not doing that properly. So we'll fly out this way and then we'll loop around. Which is what it was supposed to do. This is why I kind of like some of the feature in the ATR where you can tell it to overfly the waypoint. Can a plane take off without flaps and spoilers? Absolutely. I flew a lot of airplanes that didn't not even have flaps or spoilers. Hey, howdy, Dead STK. So they're not required. They help. They're assists, but yeah, I've flown planes without flaps, without spoilers, without retractable gear, without cockpit canopies, all kinds of stuff. Looks like there's the rain. Yeah. Spoilers and flaps are don't help you with flying. They kind of work against you flying through different means. The cleaner the wing, the more efficient the wing is. I don't know why that got into passenger services. I like how we're holding. It wants us at 5,000. I think we're going to come up a little bit further and then arc around. Nothing hanging off it. Like the flaps are extended, or the slats extended, or the spoilers extended. Everything is closed up, and the wing is nice and clean. All right, we're heading down. So let's go this way. See, we've got the glide slope showing and the localizer showing. Oh, wrong one, sorry. This is the one I wanted. Turn that. Let's take this all the way around this way. I want that on auto bank. I don't want to limit the bank angle. There we go. That's fine. Go back into. You're gonna wait, eh? All right. Let's head towards ILike. Go. So glide slope is indicating, localizer is now indicating we are 17 miles out. And there we go, heading into the rain here off the end of the runway. They can. They can bend a surprising amount. feel the rain hitting the aircraft, so we're going to arm approach mode. VOR localizer is armed, and glide slope. Do planes have MOTs? They have a version of it, yes. And there's an inspection schedule and all kinds of stuff that goes along with it. Dirkster? Okay, Dirkster. We can do that. Where are we going? Let's not do that. And let's start getting ourselves down. This approach is going a little haywire. Alright, VOR and glide slope are capturing. Oh, Dirkster, okay, I see, sorry. That's what I get for reading it out of the corner of my eye. It's somebody else. Hello, Dirkster, g'day, welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us on this rainy approach into Phoenix, Arizona. So, localizer is captured, glide slope is captured. We're going to bring the speed back to our approach speed now of 132 knots. There's 10 miles. We can go to flaps 15. Flaps 15 set, that's the gear warning. For some reason it doesn't like you not having flaps set past when you go flap 15. That'll shut off in a second. We're going to set our missed approach to 5,000 feet. As soon as the gear's down, it'll stop. Should stop. There it goes. Yeah, it's fun. It's got a little bit more to do than the Phoenix, or the Phoenix does, but it's not bad. All right, there's next flaps, 25, speed coming down. Flaps 30. And there's 140, flaps full. So gear down, 3 green, flaps full, cabin is notified, lights are on, recall clear, and runway is identified. We are coming in over Phoenix. Everything is looking good. 132, 1,400 feet to go. Right by downtown Phoenix. This is default airport as well. I don't think I have this one. What's the Phoenix football team?
1,000.
Anybody know off the top of their head? U.S. Airways Center, that's the Phoenix Coyotes, the hockey team. I take it this is football. Charger Field, Phoenix Chargers. I don't know. Looks like we're slightly offset. Wind is going to be pushing directly from the left. But there might be a slight tailwind, which is lovely. See where it ends up. 500. I have control. Let her drift over and line up.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Landing. Should have made a radio call. Forgot to. Stutter there. Reversers are on. Chargers. There's 70 knots. Reversers are off. Manual braking. We're going to get off here at Bravo 11. We're just going to go right into the terminal. Nah. It was alright. I get a little bit critical with myself on some of these landings.
Welcome to Phoenix. The local time is 3:42 p.m. and it's currently about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft...
Phoenix area traffic, Skyhawk 1 is clear runway 08, taxiing to the apron via Bravo 11 Charlie 10, and we'll be parking at gate Alpha 7. Alright, let's see if they can give us Alpha 7 GSX. How are you going to do this? You going to give me alphas? Nope. Okay, let's do it this way. Gate 7. Frontier. Why not? Of course, who knows where it put it? It's not matching. Yeah, there was a bit of it was almost a direct 90-degree crosswind. Liam, thanks for dropping by. We'll see you maybe tomorrow. Let's just go ahead here. We're going to go into Alpha 7, which is the next one in. Change facility. Will you give me better ones? No. So we'll just go down here. Alright, so flaps are up. We'll get the spoilers up. APU started. Landing lights are off. Turnoff lights are on. Taxi light is on. Wing lights and logo lights are off. Little aircraft over there. And we're going to head into, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, into this one here. Alright, so let's get you over and we can kill the taxi light. Really? 108? Wow. Or 180? I'll take it. I'm a little annoyed I missed my radio calls, but that's me chatting and talking and not paying attention. And I think I left the music on as well, didn't I? Yeah, I keep doing that. Alright, I'm just going to pull up here. And there we are. Let's move over here, we'll get the brakes on. And if we pop down here, we can go menu, FS actions, ground support. We'll get the chocks in place and the ground power connected. And as soon as that ground power is in, we can start our shutdown. We're waiting for the light to come on. So guys, thank you all very much for coming along and flying with us today. And I hope you've enjoyed the flight. It's our inaugural flight into out of Denver with Cetan, and we're going to be doing a lot more of them in the future. So those lights are off. That is on. That can come off. And basically the aircraft is winding down. Turn those off. The isolation valve open. Restrict fan can come off. And that will do it for today. So I hope you enjoyed. We will catch you tomorrow. We are back. Oh, that was the wind. My rating was 227. That's fine. That's actually not much more than 180. So we'll be back tomorrow in the Phoenix A320. We'll be flying from Oslo, Norway, down to Lisbon, Portugal, as we continue our lap of the Atlantic Ocean. This time we're starting south along the eastern coast. See you then. Bye for now.